Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to touch base with all of you and kind of give you a heads up about our preparations for the future. First of all, I just want to wish you a super happy spring break because I know that you're all really excited to just have some time to be with your families and enjoy life a little bit. However, in light of all of the hype going on around this coronavirus situation, our district wants to make sure that you're prepared just in case, for whatever reason, we do need to do a school closure. So here's a couple of things that you can do to prepare. First of all, just make sure you take home your device and anything else you think that you might potentially need if you needed to deliver lessons online and use distant learning opportunities at home. So if you go ahead and take your device home, you won't have to worry about trying to come back up here and get any other thing that you think you might need in anticipation to start the fourth 9 weeks. It's important to make sure that your students are prepared as well. So in case they have some things in your classroom that they need to bring home with them, just make sure that they take those home with them today. This may look different in an elementary classroom as compared to a high school classroom, so just think about what they need to be successful in your classroom. Do you need to send home writing paper, construction paper, and a ruler if you're in an elementary classroom? Or if your students generally work out of a workbook in a high school classroom, just make sure they have those things in their backpack as they go home today so that just in case, they can be prepared as well to have the things that they need to be successful if they have to do distance learning for a short time. Also, consider how you're going to be posting assignments to your students. So if you already use a learning management system like Google Classroom and Seesaw, just keep going with that same routine and it'll help your students to continue to be successful in a distance learning situation. When you think about posting assignments to your students on a learning management system, you might think, well, what about the students that don't necessarily have a device or connectivity? Well, our district already has some things in place where there's a checkout system that's going to be available if we do have to move to a situation where we have school closures. So don't worry about that. The district has that covered. And so all you guys need to be thinking about and maybe brainstorming a little bit is, what would an online distance learning classroom look like for my particular subject area and the way that I connect with students. And so you may be thinking, well, it's very easy. I can post assignments online very easily, but consider also the screencasting part of it, so where you can be able to still be seen by your students and be able to connect with them. I have a couple of suggestions for you. You might consider using Screencastify because it has a webcam option as well as a screen share option. And that would be a very easy way for you to do some quick little mini lessons. Also consider connecting with your students every day, maybe just with the webcam to check in to see how they're doing. Flipgrid would also be a really great tool to use during this time because you'll be able to do your own little video to talk through some directions and be able to post things all in one little assignment and be able to get all of the feedback that you need from your students just by them clicking into that particular Flipgrid and be able to respond in time there. Not to mention you can moderate it, so it's really great for you guys to be able to see what the students are saying and then decide if you want the other students to be able to see that as well. So Flipgrid would be a great, easy tool to use for any Q&A options. You may consider doing it for each assignment if you want to get some feedback from your students, and just to have one little Flipgrid specifically for questions and answers that you'll be able to respond back and forth, so that you can connect with them regularly through. There are lengthier options available if you need that, like YouTube Live. There are also several options that are free right now, Loom and Zoom. There's Google Hangouts Meet, where you can actually meet live if you needed to do that, so you have some live time with your students to be able to connect into your classroom. And so if YouTube Live, if you give them the direct link, they'll be able to see your instruction live, and then of course it's recorded for them to do the playback. And then Google Hangouts Meet, another one where they can actually tune in live, where you can see them as well as they see you. And you can kind of control that a little bit, and it has a recording feature as well. So lots of options to connect live if you want to do that. Also, be sure if you're using Google Classroom and you turned your notifications off and you would like to get notifications if a student does an assignment, just turn those notifications back on and you'll get an email notification if a student completes an assignment or has a question or anything like that. Something a little bit different in a situation like this. For example, in an elementary classroom, You may say, I want to set a learning goal of reading 3 books or 3 stories digitally and take an AR test by the end of the week, or writing so many sentences each day with your sight words. And in a high school classroom, you may consider doing more of a project-based style of learning in a text-based classroom where it's cross-curricular, reading or analyzing something in science and social studies, and then of course including the reading and writing aspect with that as well. And they have to have it done by, say the end of the week or something like that. So learning goals may be more flexible for students and for you in a situation like this. And again, feedback from you every time is very, very important. So figure out a way where you'll be able to give them feedback very often. So many digital resources available right now, many of which are normally premium, but these companies have decided in a time of crisis they are going to make them available for educators and students. So don't hesitate to utilize some of these great resources, and you'll see those on the HyperDoc. In addition, don't think everything has to be digital. It may be that the assignment is not digital at all, but they just turn it in digitally on your learning management system. So consider what that might look like in utilizing the resources that are available online, as well as things that can be done just within the home, even on paper that is available. Are connected to an English or math district Google Classroom, you guys can expect some model lessons to be posted very soon, just to kind of give you an idea about what this actually might look like for you and for your students, and so from your end, of course. And so look for that as a really good example. In the meantime, just be safe and just start brainstorming possibilities, because we always want to be prepared no matter what life gives us. So be in prayer for those that around our nation and of course in our community as we kind of navigate through this time. And don't be scared to reach out and ask questions. I will be available, and your administration will be available, and admin will be getting some more information to you very soon. So have a good spring break.